So like many of you out there watching this video, I find myself returning to the same build on a regular basis because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Now with that being said, there happens to be one gear set in the game where every time I actually return to using this thing, I think to myself, why the hell am I using anything else? And that is Negotiator's Dilemma. Therefore today, my friends, I'm going to take a few moments and highlight one of the many different builds you can put together based around it, because in my opinion, whether you're playing solo or in a group, this is a build that can definitely get the job done. Now, as always, we're going to jump right into the details, and if you happen to enjoy this, do me a favor and hit that like button. It truly helps the channel out. And if you want to stay up to speed on all things Division, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button as well. Now, my specialization for this build is Gunner. The main reason I'm using it because I love to use the Banshee Pulse, especially as a solo player. You're going to see me fire that thing anytime I roll up an NPC. Now this also happens to give you some other benefits as well. You get some armor on kill, a reload speed increase, a rate of fire increase as well. And always remember, regardless of the specialization you choose, have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. Now as you will see in a moment, my primary for this build is St. Elmo's, but honestly you could swap this weapon out for something else if you want. I know people that roll with the Lexington, the Chameleon, the Iron Lung, the Pestilence. I mean, there are so many different options, so again, as I say in every build video, you always want to take your time, make a build your own, and if you have any recommendations you want to pass along, feel free to leave them in the comment section as well. Now, as far as your secondary and sidearm, that is dealer's choice, totally up to you. You can use whatever weapons you want. Which now takes us to the gear itself, and as you can see, we're running 4 Negotiators, 1 Grupo, and the Overdog's gloves, and I will show you another variation if you do not have those gloves as yet. Starting with the mask is the first of 4 pieces of Negotiators, and as you can see, the 2-piece bonus is 15% crit hit chance, 3 pieces 20% crit hit damage, 4 pieces hostile negotiations. Critical hits mark enemies for 20 seconds, up to 3 marks total. When you critically hit a marked enemy, all other marked enemies take 60% of the damage dealt. And not only that, whenever a marked enemy dies, gain 2% crit hit damage, stacking up to 20 times or until the combat ends. Next we have the body armor, and as you can see, it's the 1 piece of Grupo. That is going to give us an extra 13% crit hit damage bonus, and I'm running with the talent Obliterate. Critical hits are going to increase total weapon damage by 1% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. Next we have the holster and the knee pads, 2 more pieces of Negotiators. You will notice that on every single piece of gear, I'm going to stack crit hit chance and crit hit damage everywhere I can. Next we have the gloves, they are the Overdogs, and as I said a moment ago, if you do not have these, I will show you a different variation in a moment. Now the reason these are so effective is because of its talent Weakest Link, and that is going to amplify weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemies currently in combat as per the tier hierarchy. And at the end of the build breakdown, when we get to the gameplay footage, I will explain exactly how these work, as there is a bit of a learning curve. Last but not least, we have the backpack, and because we are wearing the Negotiator's bag, we do have access to the talent critical measures, and that is going to increase hostile negotiations damage to additional marked enemies from 60% to 112%, which is just a f***ing nightmare for NPCs. Absolutely love this build. As far as my skills are concerned, I'm using one of my favorite combinations in the game, that is the Banshee Pulse and the Crusader Shield. I'd also like to mention that in the gameplay footage you are about to see, I do not have any global modifiers running whatsoever. I'm doing that to ensure that whenever you see this video, you know exactly what the build can do regardless of any events that are going on. Finally, when we take a look at the numbers, you can see I'm sitting at 57.7 crit hit chance, 187.6 crit hit damage. Remember, those numbers are going to be dependent on not only the gear you have equipped, but having a Shade Watch of level 1000. Now, as promised, if you do not have the Overdogs, what I would do is the following. Switch your gloves to a piece of Negotiators, then switch your knee pads to Fox's Prayer. We're doing that for that middle attribute, 8% damage to targets out of cover. And now when we look at the numbers, I'm sitting at 51.8 crit hit chance, 187.7 crit hit damage. And honestly, what I would do is I would swap out one of those crit hit damage mods for a crit hit chance mod, up that number a little bit. Hope this helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know and I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. On that note, I'm going to leave you with some gameplay footage and some final thoughts. As always, I'd like to take a moment and thank you all for your incredible continued support. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone. Hello once again, my fellow agents. I hope everyone is having a great day so far. Want to bring you up to speed on a few things really quick. First of all, I will be going out of town this Saturday for a week, so I'm going to pre-record a bunch of stuff. You're going to see some build videos, farming videos, things like that, and I want to mention it now because next week I'm under the assumption that is when the Halloween event should begin. The game has also talked about the fact that we should be getting some news in regard to Survivor soon as well, so we should hopefully be getting a lot of news very soon. Now, I am actually going to do a channel update on Friday or Saturday morning. A lot of you continue to reach out asking how I'm doing, health-wise, all that stuff. I'm happy to say things are going very, very well. And I figured the easiest way to do that is by posting a video, so you will see that soon. Last but not least, based on the feedback you've sent the channel, the builds you are going to see next week and this week as well are going to be a blue screen build, a rifle build, a hybrid build. What else do we have? Some sort of an unbreakable build. We have a tank build, a few retaliation builds, and I think that'll do it. I know a lot of you want to see a healer build. I can tell you right now that is not going to happen before I leave. I won't have time. Like, I want to, but I need to do a lot of farming in order to get the gear to make that build because I typically don't run healer builds, so I don't want to just slap something together without any, synergy. So I will do that as soon as I get back. That's all I got for this video, my friends. Thank you once again for everything, and I will see you in the next one.
Detected. Nearby location. Guarded by hostiles. Reinforcements incoming. Incoming hostiles detected. Civilians in distress. Heavily armored hostiles detected.
Burn 'em out!
Hostiles guarding location nearby. Supply room access.